Is the Democratic Party even worth saving?
These numbers are just atrociously awful. A double A for the Democrats here. I mean, just take a look here. Congressional Dems have the right priorities. Look at this. Overall, 74%, nearly 3 in 4 say no. Just 25% overall say yes. You might say, okay, well, at least Dems like Democrats. Not the case. Look at this. The majority of Democrats are independents who lean Democrats. Look at this. 55% say no, congressional Democrats do not have the right priorities. And then you just see a minority, 45% of Democrats say that congressional Democrats have the right priorities. This to me just jumps out at the screen because it screams primary challenges all over the map. And it says that even if Democrats don't like Donald Trump, they don't like their own party either when it comes to Congress. And overall, I mean, my goodness gracious.
Yikes. And Democratic voters are right to distrust their party. When Genocide Joe was elected, he had 4 years to fulfill at least one of his campaign promises, when Democrats had a House majority, a Senate majority, and the presidency. How did Democrats use that trifecta power? Did they enshrine abortion rights into law, which is so popular it passed as a ballot measure in Arizona in the same election year that Holocaust Harris lost Arizona? Did they pass the Voting Rights Act, which Genocide Joe said would be one of the first bills he would pass? How about a $15 minimum wage, which is so popular that it passed as a ballot measure in Florida in the same election year Genocide Joe lost Florida? Basically, the only thing we got from Democrats when they were in power was excuses, lies, and one climate bill that was so bad for the environment, ExxonMobil came out and praised it. Why should people believe Democrats will be any different next time around if we vote them back in power? What are they actually promising to do differently? Well, I can tell you what they're not promising. In an article published in Time magazine, titled "Democrats Try to Harness Abolish ICE Movement's Energy, but Not Its Goal," Democratic Senator Chris Murphy chided protesters who called to abolish ICE, saying, "You should demand that we make sure that this appropriations process is used to make ICE comply with the law. And I see a lot of signs out there, not one additional dime for ICE in this budget." Almost immediately, the crowd erupted in a chant that was not at all what Murphy was pitching. "Defund ICE," came the cry. Thus illustrates Democrats' challenge at this charged moment, responding to their base while not allowing themselves to get pulled further left than they deem prudent. Abolishing ICE is so popular that a new poll found half of all Americans support it now, not just Democrats. And support for abolishing ICE has grown among independents and Republicans since January. But unfortunately for all of us, polls or public will doesn't determine policy. Lobbyists do. And the prison industrial complex is not ready to abolish ICE or any prisons that make multi-million-dollar profits at taxpayers' expense. So when lobbyists and the people stand at opposite ends, what do Democrats do? They triangulate. If you're wondering what triangulation means, it's a version of gaslighting that can best be explained by this meme. Oh, you want healthcare? Best we can do is offer you Cobra subsidies. Oh, you want serious climate action? Best we can do is give you a tax credit if you buy a Tesla. They basically take what people demand and turn it into a different thing that still makes their donors happy. Senator Cory Booker demonstrated this by triangulating his own solution in response to the base's call to abolish ICE. New legislation I'm announcing will require ICE to adopt rigorous training hiring standards and for their agents to wear body cameras. As Anthony on Twitter noted, the agent who executed Renee Good was with ICE for 12 years and wore a body cam. You can't hate liberals enough. Aiden on Twitter added, "Conservatives, ICE should kill people. Democrats, ICE should wear body cameras when killing people." Here's another evil example of this triangulation thing. A month into the genocide, in November of 2023, this article in Politico covered why some Democrats, like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, still refuse to call for a ceasefire. Hundreds of former campaign aides to Bernie Sanders implored him in an open letter to back a ceasefire. He has yet to do so. Senator Elizabeth Warren's former aides wrote their own letter pressing on a ceasefire, and protesters gathered outside her home demanding one. She hasn't gone that far. The ceasefire push is hardly the first example of progressive activists pushing for the most left-leaning response, only to watch top-hill Democrats triangulate by taking a less liberal approach. The progressive push for a public option as part of Obamacare, for example, lived on in the form of Sanders' Medicare for All plan, long after the healthcare law passed without the choice of a government-run plan. You see, Sanders and Warren thought that they could triangulate a ceasefire into something less ceasefire-y. In 2024, when the uncommitted movement asked the DNC to let a Palestinian elected official speak at the Democratic National Convention, they heard back from the Kamala Harris camp, "A speaker is not happening. Would something else work? Would you be open to a private meeting?" But maybe the best example of the bankruptcy of triangulation is media whore Ro Khanna. As reported in The New Yorker, in November of 2023, the day the ceasefire resolution was introduced, Ro's political director, Adam Raymer, in his text with Ro, ramped up his internal advocacy. "People are reaching out and calling on us to support the ceasefire resolution," he wrote. "Who is?" the representative responded. Raymer listed various groups, including JVP and If Not Now. "Can offer Jewish Voices for Peace and If Not Now is Zoom," Khanna responded. Raymer said that he would try to placate the activists with a Zoom, but reiterated with mounting urgency that the movement was focused on the demand for a ceasefire. Khanna demurred, writing, "Even Bernie has not called for this. Just because Bernie and Biden admin is taking this line does not mean it is aligned with the progressive foreign policy moment," Raymer wrote. "We are burning goodwill in the support of the organizers that I am here to build with. Won't go further than Bernie Warren on it, as very complex," Khanna texted. "So we need to highlight statements I have made, which is further than Buttigieg, Kamala, Newsom, Whitmer." This was clearly his final answer. Raymer responded to the text with a thumbs up emoji and put down his phone. That evening, Adam resigned. You see, Democrats think they can placate you by playing in your face, spit on it, telling you it's raining, and that you'll thank them for it, because what other option do you have? And at least they're better than the alternative. We as a people have created an incentive structure for politicians to believe they can triangulate anything and everything from what we ask them to do into things that benefit them and their donors. And they think we, the voters, are too stupid to notice. All Democrats know how to do is lie. It's time to leave them behind, at least until they're shamed enough to offer something worth voting for. They didn't do that with Holocaust Harris. Something tells me they won't learn that lesson this time either. And besides, being in the minority is great for fundraising. The marketing executives who run the messaging side of the Democratic Party aren't listening to you. The lobbyists in charge of writing policies have never and will never listen to you. We on the left have been letting Democrats get away with their bullshit for far too long. And if we can't get the Democratic Party to change, at least we can shame them into knowing how much they suck, how much we hate them, and how they're responsible for the hell on earth world we are all living in. Democrats have one enemy, and it's not the Republican Party. It's you. Whatever it is you want, whether it's universal healthcare, paid family leave, an end to apartheid in Palestine from the river to the sea, or a higher minimum wage, Democrats are working tirelessly to deceive you, all while trying to convince you that they're on your side. Don't fall for their BS. You deserve better. We all do.